Good morning and welcome to yet another day here in the Scottish Islands. You know exactly where we are? We don't know where we are. It's a peninsula somewhere on Scottish Islands. We've left my Julie to put tents down. We've come for a walk, me and my Martin, just down to the beach because we saw a cave and it goes right through. It's only a small one, but there's quite a few caves around here. Just thought we'd check it out. It was either this or put tents down. Didn't want to do that. Now this is where we should have been last night. Set up a little... Oh, someone has lived here. There's a mattress over there. Fire there. Some tramp or something's been living in here. I didn't write that, it was already there. Dan and Ben. I do like being in here. I could actually sleep in... You could sleep in here. You could put a tent up in here quite easily because it's a soft ground. We can't work out what it is. It's like cork. But you could actually get a tent up in here and you've got a nice fire pit, no wind whatsoever. Rain isn't a problem. Yeah, I like it. In fact, this has been... Someone's built this, hasn't they? Yeah. We've just stopped so Martin can take a picture of a waterfall. I'm not going to bother because I showed you a waterfall yesterday. Where is it? Oh, that one there, look. It's water and it's falling. So this is where we are now. There's some very, very old burial gravestones here, so thought we'd stop and have a look. Very old ones. We've got my Julie, she's put the tent down now, she's sorted that out, so we've let her come with us. So let's have a look around. It rains everywhere we go, it's getting ridiculous. The first gravestone I've seen is somebody who died in 1850 on my birthday, December the 21st, aged 3, I think it says. 5 years old. I can't make out her name. Oh, Bella Roberts. Poor girl. They're off. Chickens in a graveyard. So this is the oldest stone in this graveyard. It's Pictish, which means it's from about 250 to 850 AD. So it's very old, it's pre-Viking is this. And yeah, they've put a nice little monument around it. If you look very closely, at the top here there's a V there. And that depicts something to do with Picts. I don't know what. So this is the oldest thing in the graveyard, even older than the Pictish gravestone. This is, what is it? The Wart Stone. It's never-ending water in it. It never empties and it cures. It's Pictish, but the Picts used to come and use the water from in here and put it on the warts and it'd get rid of the warts. Now I've got a couple of warts, only little ones. I've got a little one in there, so that should get rid of that. No, that didn't work, And I've got another one, can you see it there trying to come through? You probably can't. It's only tiny. No, didn't work. What a load of rubbish. And it never empties, doesn't that cup of water? But we think that's just because it never stops raining in Scotland. I do like this gravestone, look at that. Beautiful cross on top of it. And I wish I could read what it says. Thy will be done. There you go. Thy will be done. What does it say on this side? Somebody Smith, aged 60, March 1889, I think that says. Yeah, I do like that gravestone, that's lovely. Thy will be done. And that's quite beautiful as well. I like any kind of tombstone-y type thing, which is a bit different. A bit of thought gone into it. Just a love art there, 1920 something. William Clark, a love art. Little stone surrounding, I like that. I'm going to have to start thinking about what I want. I've already decided what I'm having on my headstone, what it's going to say. Deep Digger Dan, come on, get in. That's all it's going to say. But I'll have to come up with a design. design my own gravestone. That'd be cool. There's quite a few soldiers in here as well. You've got one here, this is unusual, a little wooden cross. It says Blacksmith's Mate, HMS Zealandia, 24th of April 1914, aged 22, Albert Haskell. Bless you. J. Higgins, HMS New Zealand, 1914. S. Gordon, HMS Lion, 1914. And A. Ellis, Royal Naval Reserve, Lieutenant, 1914. Right, you're going to like this little story. You won't know this, but I'll tell you a little story about this poor person here. This is Kay Matheson. It's we don't know if it's a woman or a man. I'm guessing it's a woman called Kay. Now, have you heard of the Stone of Destiny? No? How can you not have heard of the Stone of Destiny? Basically, whenever anybody was crowned a king, back in when kings started back in Scotland, yeah, there would be a stone of destiny underneath the throne. So when a king was crowned, he would be sat on his throne, getting crowned with the stone of destiny underneath him, yeah, and that went on through every king and queen for forever until it moved down to London, because the last, we don't know if it was Queen Elizabeth who used it last or it was the king before her, but it was down in London. But it originally came from Scotland. So this Kay Matheson was a student, and in 1950 she went down to London and she stole it. She stole the Stone of Destiny and brought it back to Scotland. How cool is that? A complete and utter thief. But yeah, proud. I'm amazed she didn't go to prison or anything for that, because I should imagine the Stone of Destiny was quite important. But yeah, she died in 2013. Nice little gravestone. Lovely woman by the sound of it. Now I was thinking there's a name here I've never heard before. Urquhart. I'll show you how it's spelt on one of these others. Here, look. Urquhart. Urquhart. Nice name. Anyway, there's two brothers in here, and they're drowned. Now, the local blacksmith, was it the blacksmith himself? His son. The local blacksmith's son had a bit of a dream one day that everyone was going to be stood on the bridge here mourning something, right? And the day after, these two sailors drowned, and they reckon it was a premonition this blacksmith's son had about these two sailors. And what year was it? 1860, and they're dead, and they're in there. We were just leaving the graveyard, and I thought I'll have another quick look at the sign before we go, and we nearly missed someone very, very, very important. To me, this is the most exciting one in here. I'll tell you his name and see if you can guess who he is. John James MacDonald Horlick. Horlick. Yes, Horlicks. This is the man who invented the drink Horlicks. John Horlick. How cool is that? He's buried in there with his wife, June Horlick. He died in 1995. She died in 2006, but pretty cool. I've never ever seen the grave of a drink producer before in my life. I wonder where John Smith's buried. He must be dead by now. Guy who invented John Smith's. I'd love to see his grave. Yeah, someone look that up for me. Tell me where John Smith's grave is, because I'm going to go visit that one day. Pay me respects. Have a pint with him. He deserves a pilgrimage from myself. You've got a range of mountains here, guys. That's called the Little Red Mountain. That's called the Jewelled Mountain. That's the Red Mountain. And that's the grey one. I know that because it says so on a sign down here. We're in a tiny little place called Shieldig at the moment, which, Shieldig, it's a Viking word, is that? It means Herring Bay. I think that's what it means. But Martin wanted to point this out. You know, I've mentioned it's probably going to be in the beginning of this video, but I mentioned about the trees being cut down for the war. Well, that hasn't been cut down. That's still how it always was, but it used to be like that all the way around here. And they've cut them all down for war, basically. Which war was it for? What did they do with it?
I think it was a Napoleonic War.
Napoleonic War. So it's an old war. Right, Martin's running away now. He's told me I've got to put this in my video, so I will do. Right, this place, what's it called again? Shieldaig. They used to try and attract people to come here to train as sailors so that they could use them in the Napoleonic Wars.
Yeah, pretty much. They brought them in as fishermen.
They brought them in as fishermen, trained them up. So they could be fishermen, that's alright, but if they were needed in war, they'd use them. Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Quite weird because you can't get any radio at all in this Highlands apart from one station just for a little part of it for about a 40-mile radius if you're lucky. It's called Two Locks Radio and I've been listening to it and we've just stopped and Martin says it's here, and it is the smallest radio station in the UK, yeah. Two Locks Radio, someone in there actually broadcasting at the moment. How cool's that? I've been listening to it, it's been keeping me company because they play all classics, all songs you've heard of, none of this modern junk rubbish. It's proper music. So thank you very much, Two Locks Radio. Get yourselves tuned in. You'd think on the front of it it'd say the bandwidth you can catch them on, so I can't tell you how to find them. My Julie's sat on a Campbell bench, Donald Campbell. We wanted to see a cannon because I saw in a book that there was a Spanish cannon here. We've turned up and it's not here. There is a cannon, but it's not Spanish. Now this one here is called a carronade gun. And this one was owned by a guy called George. Basically on these old herring ships, this is from like early 1800s. On these herring ships they used to have one of these to protect the ship. And this guy called George had one. Now he'd fallen out with the minister, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. He'd fallen out with the local minister because he missed Sabbath or something. So as he was going past on his boat, George fired this at the reverend as like a warning to say, leave me alone, I can do Sabbath whenever I like. And it misfired and it blew off his arm, George's arm. Serves him right, that, you know, don't mess with a minister and God and all that. Julie's got herself a new car, by the way. Like people were talking about the tyre, what they should do and blah blah blah, but the fact is they got that last car. How much did you pay for it? £300, and it was literally just to last them for a couple of weeks, and it did really well for them in the end, apart from that flat tyre. They've scrapped that now and got this lovely one. What colour is it? That's the big question. Put in the comments what colour you think this car is. It was advertised as gold, but you tell us what colour you think that is. You might remember I once mentioned someone called Saucy Mary. Can you remember? And I didn't know why she was called Saucy Mary, but it was because she used to get her boobs out and flash sailors as they went past. True story. Anyway, her dad, called Hacking, were he a king? King Hacking. He was a Viking, right? And there was a big battle, the Battle of Largs. Yep. You might have heard of it. He's heard of it. And all the Viking ships were here. Was Hacking with all his Viking ships, and they all sailed down to the River Clyde and had a big fight with the Scots. And well, the Scots won. The Scots won, but not because they're big and hard. apparently the weather turned and a lot of them sunk and stuff, so they all went away, and that will end and they just went bye-bye. But yeah, you can imagine all these Viking ships just out here. Duh. My Julie just came through the big gate because she couldn't fit through the small one. Bless her. I drove past this the other day and I didn't stop. But we just went past it again and we've stopped. Because it did look really... It's just another church and graveyard, but it's a really nice ruin of a church, if you can see it. A World War I soldier there, Mr. Jackson, aged 22. Died in 1915, 21st of January. Yeah, it's a beautiful church, beautiful little graveyard, but we don't know anything about it, so yeah, another nice little graveyard. Always nice to stop in them. Right, time to go. Let's go through here. Martin, just get through there. Come on, Julie. Julie, we're waiting for you. Here comes Julie. Why are you coming through there? I don't think you meant to go through there. I think you meant to go through there. Whoever said, don't feed the birds, I don't care what you say. That's an experience I'll never forget. Me and my seagull friend. It used to be the enraged, didn't it? Feeding birds. Everyone feed birds. You know, it's very popular. You should feed the birds. There was even a song about it, wasn't there? Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. In Mary Poppins, I think it was. And nowadays, say, don't feed the birds. The big signs up. Don't feed the birds. They're dangerous. They're beautiful. I love this bird. I really love this bird. Came to me. I didn't have to throw food down. Came to me and sat next to me, and I thought, yeah, okay, you can have some bread. So here's a list of people who've donated since I last kicked off. We've done very well, very well. Paul, Byron, Don't Stop Now, Simon Hackett, John Vitti, Late Adrienne Corran Sowards, sorry to hear that, Sam Sowards, Marina Kamiheba, Lars Moeller, Byron Andrew Vary, Paul and Wendy McCormack, Shallow Shoveler Shane, Amanda Briley. I had a dream about you, Shallow Shoveler Shane, the other day. I'll tell you about that in a video one day. Longy, Torbjorn, Marcel and Helene, Joel Nadal, Mr. Bobo, loads. Brett Lyons, Erica Craven, Sean and Linda, Michael Doyle, Stuart Wright, Sven Kielman, Peter Hayes, my buddy, Don Waters Jr., Ellie and Gareth, Adam Mason, Dar McQueen, again, Elizabeth, Darian Currington, Fraser McBurney, John and Caroline, Ben Vincent, Adam and Leighton, Bigfoot Digger, Belkit and Peter Erfurt. Fantastic. Thank you all so much. Now, that was like over 24 hours and it stopped again. And I checked it again just before I was reading these out, and it had gone down. It had gone down. We were at 44,290 something, and now we're at 44,280, and I thought, why has it gone down? So I checked my list, and there's four people on here. Matt from Minnesota, Drew Schilling, Josh, and Larry Vering. All your donations have disappeared now. Were they declined? Did you decide you don't want to donate? I can't understand why your donations aren't there anymore. You can let me know. But everyone, please keep the donations coming. You're doing very well. I've worked it out now. There's about, I think, 67 days left of this trip. And we need to make £85 per day, which is possible. It is possible. That was amazing. We got about £800 there, but that's in like a week's amount. We need it to keep coming. Come on, £80 odd per day, starting now. Thank you very much. So all the links in the description. Go to diggingthecoast.com, click donate and give all that you can, please. It's for Rays of Sunshine to make some wishes come true for very poorly children. So please dig deep. That's it for today, guys. That's me done with me Julie and me Martin for this weekend. But next weekend, they've got a long weekend off work. I'm going to be spending, I think, 3 full days with them. And we're doing pretty much all the north part of Scotland. So we're going to rush through that, and then I'll go back over it with the metal detector when they've gone. But we'll have a good sightseeing session, and we're going to plan it properly, some proper places to go see up there. So that I'm really looking forward to that. It's now Tuesday as I'm reading this, and I'm going to get cracking on with metal detecting. The weather's been terrible, but it's actually stopped for the first time in about 30 hours. So I'm going to be metal detecting, and I'll see you as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I can possibly upload. It's just a massive problem, non-stop, can't do anything about it. Thanks for joining on Digging the Coast. 3, 6, 5...